Hello friends, I am Ishwar from Singapore. In this video, we will look at how a foreigner can buy a property in Singapore. We'll just look at a rough idea of how a foreigner can buy a property in Singapore. So foreigner by definition is very simple. A person who is not a Singapore citizen or a Singapore permanent resident. He is considered a foreigner. But Singapore is a small country, about 720 square miles only, square kilometers rather, area. So it is not possible to give blanket permission for foreigners to buy any type of property in Singapore. So the government has brought in certain restrictions. So the foreigners buying a property is covered by the Residential Property Act of Singapore, Chapter 274. It gives all the details of what a foreigner can buy and what he cannot buy. So there are two classifications. One is non-restricted properties and other is restricted properties. Non-restricted properties means those properties which a foreigner can buy freely. There is no restriction on that. For example, a condominium, an executive condominium, if it meets the selling criteria, and a private apartment, or even a strata landed house, if it is within a condominium prescribed by the government under the Town Planning Act. And also a foreigner can buy a shop house for commercial purpose only, not for residential purpose. So these are basically the properties which a foreigner can straight away buy without any approval by the government. And there are some restricted properties. For example, a foreigner cannot buy a bungalow house. He cannot buy a detached house or semi-detached house or a terrace house or even a vacant residential land he cannot buy. And also he cannot buy a strata house which is not inside a condo. So these are all the items which a foreigner cannot normally buy. Of course, they can always make an application to the land dealings approval unit for getting permission to buy even these restricted properties. Of course, the permission is given on a case-to-case basis based on the applicant's commitment to Singapore, his economic contribution to Singapore, his investments, if any, he made in Singapore, or any business dealings he has in Singapore. On an exceptional case only they consider. And there is one more landed property called Sentosa Cove, which is a very prestigious development started in 2000. So this is the most prestigious item which is patronized by multi-millionaires and billionaires and business tycoons. So here they straight away allow foreigners to buy, even though it is a landed property. The government allows them to buy and they give the approval also quite fast. But here the landed property will be at least starting 7,000 square feet onwards, and up to 20,000 square feet it will go. So the price range is somewhere from $2,300 Singapore dollars per square feet up to $3,800 $4,000 per square feet in Sentosa Cove. So now we will see what are the financials. See, in Singapore the banks will give a loan of up to 75% of the price if you are a foreigner also. Of course, it's all subject to approval. They go through various procedures to assess your eligibility for loan. And once you are cleared for the loan, you will be getting 75% of the price. So 25% is your contribution. And apart from that, the other expenses will include a buyer's stamp duty, which is around approximately 3% of the selling price for all, for whether Singapore citizens or permanent residents or foreigners. So this is the buyer's stamp duty. There is one more aspect called additional buyer's stamp duty, ABSD. This varies. For foreigners, this is 20% flat on the selling price. So altogether, you will be paying 23% as stamp duty. The other expenses will be lawyers' fees around 3,000 to 3,500 and some miscellaneous expense of $500. That's all. And then the bank, as I told you, bank may give 75% of the loan. So the process is how you start with finding out a property. Preferably, you can go through an agent who is licensed by the CEA, Council for Estate Agencies. That in the website you will find whether the agent is approved or not, or you can go through some websites, property websites, and shortlist a agent. Since you are a foreigner staying in a foreign country, it is better for you to go through an agent, and he will guide you fully. For purchase, there is no agent fees payable for condominium purchase. So you will get a free service, and once you look at a property on your own, or you get the advice of your friends or other agents and finalize a property, you have to see your budget, how much you can afford, including the stamp duty of 23%. So you come to an approximate figure, and accordingly you start the search for the house. So that should give you a safety net so that you won't be going off the mark. Since you know the purchase price, your share is 25%, stamp duty is 23%, another expenses $3,000 to $5,000. That's all. So in the case of stamp duty, there are some exceptions. For example, citizens of USA, citizens and permanent residents of Iceland, Norway, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein, all these countries, they don't have to pay the additional buyer stamp duty, but still they have to pay the normal buyer stamp duty as like a Singapore citizen. So these are the things. And again, you have to remember, while you are selling the property, there is a seller's stamp duty. The seller's stamp duty is applicable for 3 years from the purchase. Suppose you want to sell within the first year of purchase, you have to pay 12% seller's stamp duty. And if you are selling within the second year, you have to pay 8%. And if you are selling within the third year, you have to pay 4% of seller's stamp duty. Thereafter, there is no seller's stamp duty applicable. You can freely sell it. So these are the basic things in buying a condominium, and the process is like this. You finalize a property, and let us assume you have an agent to assist you. Then he will prepare the option to purchase, OTP. At that time, you have to pay 1% of the price of the property. If it is $2 million, you have to pay $20,000. 1%. Within 2 weeks, you have to pay another 4%. That means you are exercising the option. If you don't pay the 4% within the prescribed time, your option money will be forfeited. So you have to carefully plan and make ready liquid cash. So 1% plus 4%, 5% is gone. Another 20% is your share. The lawyer will advise you when to pay that 20%. The stamp duty is payable within 2 weeks after signing the sale and purchase agreement. Once you pay the 4%, the lawyer will prepare the sale and purchase agreement, and within 14 days, you have to make the payment of stamp duty, including additional buyer stamp duty. So with that, your 20% is paid, so rather your 25% is paid, and your stamp duty is paid. The bank will release the 75% loan amount. Everything is directly dealt by the lawyers. You will have a lawyer and seller will have a lawyer. Both lawyers will liaise among themselves, and they will do all the submission of applications to the government, to the Urban Redevelopment Authority or Singapore Land Authority, whatever be the case. They will do all the paperwork for you. You just come and sign the paper, If you cannot come also, you can appoint a power of attorney through a lawyer again. So that power of attorney can act on your behalf and you can sign the papers. So now the completion will take within 3 months, the whole process will be over and you will get possession of the house. And once you get the possession of the house, if you want to do, you can do some renovation or some changes inside the house, painting, changing of furniture, everything. And every month there will be a the maintenance fee payable by all the owners, which may be in the region of $300 to $400 per month. It is usually collected on a quarterly basis or once in 4 months. This is payable to the condo management. And you are free to rent out the apartment immediately upon purchase. Or also you can stay in the apartment. Of course, as a foreigner, if you want to stay, you need some immigration pass. Otherwise, you can rent out the apartment and enjoy the rental income. So as far as the house is concerned, there are different types, like 1-bedroom house, studio apartment, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, penthouse. Usually the price range is $2,000 to $4,500 per square feet in prestigious localities like Orchard Road, Raffles Place, City Hall area, all these Marine Parade, East Coast. Here the price range is $2,000 to $4,500 per square feet. Of course, in far off areas like Sembawang, Yishun, Woodlands, Sengkang, Punggol, the rates may be lesser, like $1,400 or even $1,200 per square feet. So the prestigious localities in the heart of the city will always command a higher price. But as I told you, the Sentosa Cove, it's a very prestigious apartment, but since the square feet area is 8,000 or 9,000 each bungalow, the rate will be in the region of $2,300 per square feet to maximum $3,200 per square feet. Usually in condominiums, the smaller the house, the higher the per square feet rate. The bigger the house, the per square feet rate usually is lower. So this is the rule of thumb. So as far as possible, you plan your finances first and be sure that you are able to meet all the expenses, and also you must get an in principle approval, or rather approval in principle, from a bank in Singapore. For that, the banker will need certain documents from you, like income documents, your contribution to the PF department in your country, your income tax assessment notice, whatever. To the bank's satisfaction, you have to give all the documents, and once they scrutinize it and they are satisfied, they will give you an in principle approval. Only then you can proceed with the purchase. Otherwise, it is not advisable to proceed, because banks are very strict nowadays. Unlike in the past, they look at so many things and then they decide whether to give or not and how much to give. 75% is the maximum they will give, but it depends on the bank. They might give less also, but they will let you know how much amount they can give based on your income profile. So accordingly, you can decide your share. Suppose they give 60%, you have to make 40%, plus all the stamp duty 23%. So these are all the things. So I hope this information will be useful for you if you are planning to purchase an apartment in Singapore. So if you have any doubts or any queries, you can just send it to me through the comments column below. Preferably if you can give your email, I can reply to you. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.